Michigan will get $1.6 billion from a major opioid settlement. That money will be shared by the state and counties over the next 18 years.
13 on your side, Julie Koharic has an exclusive first look at how Kent County plans to spend it. Julie, some people are concerned about transparency and where all that money goes.
Yeah, and it's a lot of money. Here in Michigan, counties aren't actually required to publicly report how they're spending it. Kent County has already faced hurdles internally, both with the task force and the Board of Commissioners.
$1.6 billion, about half going to the state and half going to Michigan's 83 counties. It's part of a massive settlement between drug manufacturers and states over the opioid addiction crisis. But expert Jonathan Stoltman says the solution is getting lost in the details.
Like, all of that process is still like completely opaque, even though I have like a little bit of insight to it. I can't figure it out.
He's a member of the Kent County Opioid Task Force.
It requires some careful planning. It's not a pot of money up front that we can do as we please.
Those counties not technically required to say what they're doing with the money. Kent County told me they will.
Being transparent with our community, making sure we're talking to a diverse array of partners.
Every single county in Michigan will get some money, but it really depends on how much. The smallest amount, just $173 in Union Charter Township. The biggest amount, nearly $70 million in Wayne County. Here in West Michigan, Kent County is getting more than $18 million.
Leading that charge is Rachel Jantz,
Public health epidemiologist.
heading up a force of more than 100 people.
Law enforcement, pharmacy, academia, education, treatment, health systems.
They've been at the ready long before the settlement was even in question. But now that that money is rolling in,
It's folks like the community members that were impacted that are saying like, hey, my kid died from this. I want to make sure my neighbor doesn't deal with that. Can you please tell me that you're using the money well?
Stoltman isn't alone in his concerns. I heard next from Ivan Diaz, a Kent County commissioner who says he'd been asking for the plan and hadn't been able to get it.
Michigan has historically been one of the worst when it comes to transparency. It's no surprise to me that leaks down to the local units of government.
So I reached out to the commission and health department for their plan. They sent both Diaz and me their outline of how they're spending year 1 and year 2.
He might be looking for this final report, and that's fairly recent.
So how are they actually going to use that money? All of the experts I spoke with said it needs to be poured into 4 different buckets: prevention, harm reduction, treatment, and recovery. Kent County is spending half of their first 2 years on just funding for treatment.
Again, like, treatment should get a lot of money.
Task force members have had access to this plan since early this year after they ranked their choices on a community survey. But Kent County is spending that first half of their funding on just the correctional facility. Stoltman says that's $800,000 going to something they didn't entirely vote for.
What was the formula they used to decide $400,000 would go to law enforcement when such a small amount would go to those other buckets that we know will impact people immediately?
Some members of the task force even sending a letter in July of 2023 requesting more transparency and a needs assessment that shows how they came to their decisions. The health department responded in this letter acknowledging those concerns.
We're doing much better than so many other places because of them and their passion, so don't let that go. But please remember, we're on the same team here.
Health Officer Adam London telling us the plan is in line with the vote and standing by it.
I know that having recovery coaches in the community was, I think, the highest priority. I think the second highest priority was making sure that medically assisted treatment continued at the correctional facility.
He says a needs assessment is possible in the future. But looking back at the big picture, we're still months away from seeing that money in action. The next step is to get this in front of the Board of Commissioners.
It'll be available for anyone to review and to advise, to call their commissioner if they like it, if they don't like it.
They hope to do that at the May 21st meeting. But until that funding finishes in 2040,
That we can have this transformative change,
there's a lot more details to learn,
but only if we make that effort.
county and statewide.
Again, none of this is approved yet. You can find Kent County's full plan and all of those letters in this story on our website. You'll also find an interactive graph showing you how much your city or county will get. Emily, back to you.